Hi, David here again for concertblogger.com. Today we're here with Vinyl Thief, Nashville-based band. Tell us about yourself. Well, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Grayson.
I'm Logan.
Okay. So there's four guys in the band.
We're missing Sam and Andrew. They're parking somewhere.
the trials and tribulations of New York City, right?
Yeah.
So you four guys were friends first. And you took up music together, teaching each other and learning at the same time how to play your instruments and such. How did that all happen? Why don't you tell me that story a little bit? Or did I just actually tell the story?
Skimmed it, but
yeah.
It was well, the other three guys were together first. I'll let you can go down that path.
Well, yeah, we started about freshman year of high school playing together. We were all in marching band, and that's kind of how we all knew each other. But we were playing music like that all the time, but it was kind of lame. It's not very fun. So we wanted to do our own thing and make our own music. So it was just kind of a slow process of learning other people's songs and figuring out how to write. And then Grayson came in and started singing with us.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you all grew up in Nashville, but growing up in such a heavily country-influenced music scene, what brought you guys to the sound that I guess you'd best just be described as synth electro rock or something like that in that vicinity?
Yeah.
Well, we actually grew up an hour south of Nashville, Columbia, known for Mule Day. So if you're ever in the area, go to Mule Day.
Okay, I'll make sure. Put that on the calendar.
Yeah, please stop by. And so we grew up an hour south, and I think that was good for our development because the pressure was off. We were like the only band in town, I think. So
okay.
we took that time to learn how to play, like we said. And there's no pressure. It was just all for fun. Then when we moved up to Nashville, that's kind of when it turned into a more serious thing.
Yeah.
There is pressure. I mean, not a ton of pressure, but there's competition. There's so many great bands coming out of Nashville, and I think the whole country influence thing, it doesn't exactly touch you in Nashville unless you want it to. Because I mean, we're fans of classic country and stuff like that, but modern country, we're not. None of us are really into that. And there's so much other stuff going on in Nashville, not just like down on Broadway, the country scene, you know. So it's easier to stay away from it than you think.
It was probably a case of the grass is greener on the other side, because when we were growing up in Columbia, in like the small town, I noticed this recently, how we grew up and we were always listening to bands from like England, like Muse, a band called Wild Beast, Sigur Rós from Iceland or whatever. But we were always loved these bands from faraway places, and we were kind of into that. So the stuff like in our neighborhood or in our town or whatever, it didn't really interest us.
What kind of musical influences, I guess you just touched on a few, did you have growing up? Like at home, did your parents play a lot of music around, and who were you into when you were growing up?
My family was we were always fans of music, and my parents always encouraged my interest, but it wasn't not very musical compared to Grayson's family.
Well, I mean, my family, my mom's side of the family used to tour around in a bandwagon and sing at gospel conventions and just all over the country. And then my mom was a touring background vocalist, and my uncle's he's a singer, and so that's been in my family as long as I can remember. I've been seeing that. So that influenced me wanting to do music. But then, as far as like what we listened to around the house and stuff like that, I mean, my mom and I always loved Celine Dion. That's kind of weird to say, but she's. I mean,
absolutely.
You can't deny that voice, right?
Absolutely.
Celine Dion was always going on, and then the Beatles and all that stuff. And Andrew and Sam. Andrew was listening to Kool and the Gang with his parents, and Sam was listening to James Brown, and a lot of different influences going around. So Kiss and U2 were big in here.
Def Leppard, Kiss, Molly Hatchet. My dad was a really big fan of those bands. So
really?
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was weird because I remember being older and hearing a Def Leppard song, and I knew every word to it, and I was like, why do I asked my parents, and I was like, why is this familiar? And they're like, oh, well, he used to hear this all the time when you're a baby. So
That's so funny.
yeah.
Putting those little thoughts in your head. Those little Def Leppard thoughts. I don't know.
Def Leppard for the baby in the womb.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys just released a new EP, Stop Motion, on February 4th. How's that been received? And is this the record that you financed with your Kickstarter campaign?
It was part of it.
Part of it?
Yeah.
EP comes from the album that's coming out later.
Yeah, because I know you have it. You also that's exactly the next part of it was it's a 4-song preview of your upcoming spring release of Fathoms. Is the LP is going to be. How did you decide to release your music in this way, like in that a 4-song before the LP? And
Well, I think just we're new to the game, you know. I mean, this is kind of our first big like project we put out, and we really wanted to we just wanted to put out a little sampler there first, you know, to get the buzz around and give us time to like build up all the stuff we need, you know, and get out on the road and promote it. And we've got a wonderful office of brilliant, beautiful women working on the PR side for us at Big Picture, and so yeah, it's been really exciting with the EP. I mean, things have been going really well. We got great responses.
so the 4 songs on the EP eventually going to be on the LP also, or?
I think so. That's
Okay.
what it's looking like. Yeah.
All right, cool. And how about the Kickstarter campaign? How was your experience with that? You know, it didn't take very long at all, and you'd made your goal. And
Yeah.
how was your experience with that? I mean, that's really, I think, what the music industry is coming to in a lot of ways is that self-sufficiency. And oh, you want an album? Okay, we'll make it happen. Find a way. There's a million ways to do that, and to see you guys taking that.
I mean, that's exactly what it was for us. Is that we wanted an album, and we had several people telling us, you know, they would love to hear it, and that was the way. I mean, some of us, me personally, I was a little wary of the Kickstarter idea at first, just because we hadn't done it, you know, and it was kind of new. But it was exciting. I mean, to see that many people respond to you and give you money to say, I believe in the art you can potentially make, the art that you haven't even
made yet.
Yeah, that's
what you can potentially do.
So they believe in your potential. Your fans do, and that's for them to give money to that. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
we were lucky, kind of being like doing music now, because if we were around 10 years ago, we would have been used to labels having a lot more money and being able to just pick up a band and do everything.
And that was it. That's the only way to make it.
Yeah, and then that went away, so you have to adjust to that. But with us, we've been recording since we were like 15, and the whole time we've always had to just pay for it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we've always done. And with the Kickstarter, we knew we wanted to do an album, which is a lot bigger project than what we've done. So we just kind of decided to ask for help.
Hey, into recording these songs, what are the themes, and how is the record held together?
I think the record is held together by. I mean, it all stemmed from kind of the time period in which we wrote everything. You know, it was over like a 2-year period. Everything wasn't all written at once. It was over a while, and you know, over 2 years you can go through a lot of different things in life, and it seems like it was really cool to see. After everything's recorded, you can step back and you can see what the themes were that came through, and a lot of it was escapism, just kind of getting away from things, you know. And that was big for me over the past 2 years, just getting away from life and kind of removing yourself from it and stepping back. And the EP follows that trajectory precisely, because Smooth starts off with getting away, and then Stop Motion, the last song, ends with like taking a step back and taking stock and just kind of like, okay, where am I at right now? And that theme plays off the album. It's in a bigger way on the albums, but yeah, I mean, musically, we came off the Rebel Hill EP, which was the first thing we did where we really felt like we had, you know, something to say, something to put out. And we kind of felt like we learned how to write with each other really well and stuff like that. Because when you grow up together, you learn to play. We put out what we think is some bad music before. And, like,
I think you're gonna say great music.
No, not great music. But the Rebel Hill EP we were proud of, and we learned how to, you know, write together. And so, but this was on the right after that.
The trajectory.
Moving into the new phase of like, all right, we get how to do this.
Yeah,
let's go.
I think the thing that kind of holds all the music together on the album is not so much sonically, because for us, we can kind of go in a lot of places. We like to be all over the place sometimes, but it's more of a mindset and I don't know, I guess like the lyrics and kind of the themes.
Yeah.
All
In
in the
that
same
regard.
place.
Yeah. Cool. You guys have had a crazy ride in the last year, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down much. You've got a string of dates coming up, starting here in New York tonight. And you'll be on the road again quite a bit, culminating with another trip to South by Southwest. Are you looking forward to that? And
Absolutely.
what are you thinking about that? How that's going to go?
Last year was our first year there, and it was just insane. Our manager goes every year, and he did not prepare us for it because it was just madness. There's so much going on there. There are so many bands. Like it's insane, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a blast.
Yeah, Austin's a great place.
And,
first of all, like you
yeah.
can go there anytime.
How can you not have a good time in Austin?
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Great
I grew
food
up in Texas, so it's great to go back. It's like stomping grounds, and I mean, we're really excited to get back this year, though. With their EP and having some great stuff to promote, I feel like we're really
a little bit more. Here's who we are.
Yeah.
And this is what we believe in, and this is what's coming up. And
Yeah, South by is cool because with music, it kind of feels like it exists online a lot. It's always, websites and internet and everyone communicating that way, but South by is great because it all kind of...
face to face.
Yeah, it comes together in one town.
Exactly.
Everyone is there to hear great music. That's what everyone is there for, and they pay a lot of money to do it. So
Exactly.
they're ready to soak it in. And I mean, our crowds last year, our shows were amazing.
Music is on your iPod, phone, MP3 player, whatever. Right now, who you listening to?
Beyonce's record has been one that I've really liked.
Really?
Yeah, I've gotten into it because it came out and there was so much hype about it. But
Well, she didn't say anything about it, and she just dropped it,
yeah,
and then everybody went crazy.
yeah. So
I like that one too. I've really liked Active Child, his Rapport EP that just came out. I'm a big fan of that. I think that's great stuff.
Wild Beast, like I said earlier, but they're coming out with a new album.
Yeah, Wild
in
Beast just
February.
put out a new single that's killer.
Yeah.
Really
St.
into
Vincent. I really want to listen to St. Vincent's new record.
And then Hometown Friends, Wild Cub, they're doing really, really well, and we all love their stuff. So they're so fun, great guys. So
How do you decide who gets to play what on the in the van? Yeah, in the van.
Whoever drives.
Whoever's driving has control of the
If you're the driver.
the radio. Cool. Okay, so one last question I always ask all my interviewees: what's something about yourself that maybe would be a little bit odd for your fans to know that maybe they don't know? Something that something weird about yourself. Do you have a hobby or a pet or something like that?
one little unknown fact is Sam, our keyboard player, actually didn't want me in the band for the first few months I was in the band.
Really?
Yeah, that's. I just
Well,
remember that earlier today, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly Grayson. It was more of the idea of the lead singer.
Yeah, he didn't want a
Frowned
lead
upon.
singer in the band because he was I mean, Sam's an amazing melody writer. That's his thing on keys and everything. And so they were all learning how to play, and Sam would always take the lead melody, and that was his thing. And then Andrew and Logan were talking about getting a lead singer, and Sam knew in his mind, he was like,
My prominence.
My melodies might sit back every now and then. No, but now we're just the greatest of friends. So.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Absolutely.
This is Vinyl Thief, and you can pick up their new EP. What's the name of it again? I'm sorry. Stop Motion. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. And on iTunes, and you can catch them out on the road coming up pretty soon. So thanks, and
Thank you.
have a great day.
Yes, thank you.